You're listening to the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS podcast with hosts Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome to the Better Baseball MLB DFS Playbook podcast and live stream here on the Monday main slate. 8 games. We're here on the Better Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm social channels, giving you our first look here, James, on a Monday. 8 games, Coors Field on the slate. How we doing, my man?
Doing good. Happy Monday. Coors Field, 8 games. Should be an interesting slate overall. Really good top-end pitching. Very interesting, I'd say, value pitching. Seeing some pricing once again. So should be a banger here on this Monday.
Yeah, I agree with you. 8 games to kick it off here. Before we get into breaking down tonight's DraftKings main slate, shout out to our friends over at Real Time Fantasy Sports, rtsports.com/alarm. Promo code alarm23 gets new users who sign up a 100% deposit match up to $200. You can enter their DFS Pick'em contest. Myself or Howard Bender generally has some pick plays available over on our YouTube and Twitter channels. But if you're not into the DFS Pick'em plays, of course, they have their fantasy football tournaments over there. Both best ball and redraft seasonal championships are going on now. You can use that deposit bonus over there to sign up and take part, because fantasy football, believe it or not, is in fact here. Preseason games already underway. Only a few Sundays left before kickoff, James. So a lot of great things happening. No better time than now to take a part of what's going on over at RT Sports. Switching pages here now over to DraftKings, though. Again, we're looking at this main slate at 8 games. We'll have to check out the weather. I know, again, the Northeast is potentially dealing with some rain. Pittsburgh and New York on the slate here, the one game that we'll have to tune into. When we go live at 5 o'clock Eastern, I'll be live at 5 p.m. Eastern time, joined by Justin Fensterman for this show here this evening. James get the day off from the live stream here, but Fency and I, we're breaking down the 5 o'clock live stream for you all. I'll be on the playbook as well today. So any and all updates pertaining to weather, lineups, you got it. I'll cover it and get you guys ready to dominate here this evening. Let's just kick it off, though. Again, Coors Field is on slate, so we always have to keep that in mind. But top price pitching here, Max Scherzer's at $11K at home against the Angels. Tyler Glasnow on the road against the Giants at $10,800. Max Fried here at home against the Yankees at $9,400. Your top 3 price pitchers. Glasnow, I think he missed his last start, was it, due to the back injury or back spasm? So that's always a little bit concerning for a guy that is just like notoriously injured. Yep. You have Scherzer at $11K going up against the Angels and Fried here against the Yankees. How are you feeling about pitching, top end pitching on the slate?
Yeah, so I have a lot of interest in the top 2. Fried, not so much. The Yankees, if there's one thing that they've done kind of like throughout, it's been hit lefties. I mean, even when you look at like Anthony Volpe, for instance, like all of his numbers have come against left-handed pitching this year. Since the All-Star break, Yankees have an 826 team OPS. That's 6th highest in baseball. 208 ISO, John. That's 6th in baseball. So not so much on Fried coming off, a bad start against Pittsburgh. Maybe a little rust considering it's only 2 starts into his return. I am perfectly fine getting up to Scherzer and Glasnow. Scherzer's looked great in his last 2 starts, 24, 26 fantasy points. He's been a lot better after a rocky start to the year. I mean, even just his last 10 starts in general, 6-2, 3.38 ERA. The batting average against like 18 points lower. We know the Angels strike out a whole bunch, so that's a great spot. And then honestly, if Glasnow, he threw a 15 pitch bullpen according to, this DraftKings note here. And as long as he is going to make the start, it's a fantastic spot. Like San Francisco has been abysmal offensively just against every split, but since the All-Star break, they're dead last in OPS, dead last in WOBA against right-handed pitching. And that's a team. This is a team that stinks against lefties too. So they're really just not hitting anybody. And now you have a guy, look at the outings from literally since June 20th was the last time he didn't give us 23 fantasy points, right? And he's coming off 31 and 31 his last 2 outings. So I really like Glasnow. Great ballpark to pitch into in San Francisco. So I'm in on Scherzer, in on Glasnow. A little out on Max Fried.
Okay. The price point for Fried to me is appealing, but I get
Sure.
sort of the hesitation. They are working him up pitch count wise. I like that he is home here. Obviously, Yankees sometimes have the benefit of playing in that home ballpark, conducive to some scoring for them here. I'd be willing to go Fried if no one's going to be in on him. I think it wouldn't come up with ownerships later on in the day. If there's some value to be had at $9,400, because I mean, he is a pretty elite pitcher here. So, like, when healthy and right, generally he's been fairly dominant. So, willing to give him a look. After that, I think it's kind of interesting, right? Because Yu Darvish against Baltimore isn't really a spot I'm entirely looking to go, but Yu Darvish did come through for us, for a while now. So, are you believing in this current run of you, or are we going to run into an O's lineup that, has Adley and Gunnar and Mullins back and all them, and they hit home runs on them? Like, how are you feeling about this 8K guy, a range of Yu Darvish, Merrill Kelly, and going into Colorado as well?
Well, out on Kelly, I know he's been good and Colorado hasn't, but I guess I shouldn't say out on Kelly, but less bullish on Kelly than normal. It is a great price, so I'll say that for Kelly. The Darvish thing, like, Baltimore's offense hasn't really been good. Let's face it. Like, Seattle's pitching really neutralized them this week, and I know Seattle's pitching can be really good at times. Like, that's why they're back in this race that they're in. Their pitching has definitely led them since the All-Star break against right-handed pitching. 683 team OPS for Baltimore. That's 24th. 295 WOBA is 26th, and that's against right-handed pitching. They also have a 24.9% striker rate over that time. So, like, the Baltimore offense that's been there all year hasn't been there lately, and it's been largely better against left-handed pitching. Even when you look at their numbers, 9th in ISO since the break, their OPS, they're 13th. Like, they're a better offense against left-handed pitching. So I'm willing to trust the data towards recent form Orioles. So I'm okay getting to Darvish here. Yeah, I would outside of the Pittsburgh start. He's been really good. Only one start dating back to the Philly start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One start of 2 earned runs or more than 2 earned runs over his last 6. So yeah, I'd be willing to get to Darvish in this spot. It's a good spot for what Baltimore's been against right-handed pitching.
Yeah, again, it's more so like what we know Baltimore can hit for power, but again, the way Darvish has been pitching, those who may have felt a little burned by that start against Pittsburgh, he's bounced back nicely, even in some tougher spots. I do still like Merrill Kelly. Again, I think Colorado's not that good, and
yeah, it's good.
Kelly's a guy that has generally kept the ball on the ground, so good on him there for Colorado. And like you mentioned, you're getting a price drop on him because he's pitching in Coors. The guy's been a 9K plus pitcher for a lot of this year. So getting him at 81 feels like a good value. Because when we dip below, we have Brady Singer pitching really well going up against Seattle.
Yeah.
Schmidt against Atlanta, we're definitely not going to touch that. JP Sears against St. Louis is like mildly interesting, but not, it could go either way. St. Louis obviously has some guys starting to heat up, turning around. Still not all that great. Sandoval against Scherzer in Texas, not going to go there. Mikolas against Oakland at home. It's Oakland. I bet ownership's here. He's been pitching really well the last couple of starts. So, 7K Miles Mikolas, probably your chalky value today.
Yeah, Singer, to just circle back to Singer, I'm definitely in. If this is the version we're going to get, it's hard not to just at least consider him because he was this good last year too. Right. Like he had a breakout season last year and he got off to a terrible start. Last 10 starts, 3.52 ERA compared to 5.05 on the year, and obviously due to this recent stretch, it was a lot higher before when it started. 2 earned runs or less in 4 straight starts. He's getting deep into games. Outside the Cleveland start, it's really been pretty good.
Yeah, keeping the ball in the park has been huge, right? Like he's only given up 4 homers over the last 10 starts, but he gave up 9 home runs over the previous 13, right? So keeping the ball in the park, certainly going to be conducive to success.
So, yeah, I would get the Singer, but I largely agree. Like, Mikolas is going to probably be chalky. I know Galoff homered twice on Sunday. He was a cover boy of Justin Vreeland's playbook, so shout out to Vreeland there.
Seriously, yeah.
But I would probably go to Mikolas. Even looking at some numbers, Oakland still bottom 10 in the league in both OPS and WOBA against right-handed pitching since the break. So, like, they're improving. It's like 21st in the league. I'm a sucker for Grayson Rodriguez, too. It's a interesting play. San Diego's like right smack dab in the middle of the pack against right-handed pitching since the break. So like I'm iffy about it, but he's 12, 16, 19, 18 fantasy points in 4 straight starts. We're starting to get like top overall prospect in baseball type vibes from Grayson Rodriguez again. So, or pitching prospect. So I might get to him but it's also like a little scary.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree with you. There isn't really a lot more to want to touch upon down here. I guess, like, do we go to the long reliever Sean Manaea the way he's been pitching, right? Like,
but is it? I mean, we don't even know. We don't even have confirmation. Like, there was 5 2/3, 4 2/3, and 2/3, 2/3, 1 2/3 of an inning, and then 4 innings. Like,
yeah, my assumption, obviously, to your point, could be 100% right. Like, I don't know. If they have him as a PLR, I think they'd use him for multiple innings. But you're correct. We don't know.
Didn't it happen the other day where like someone was supposed to come in the game, and then Alex Wood didn't come in the game, and he came in like third.
Well, they used Junis for an inning,
I mean,
and then they used Wood after that for like 3, I think.
Okay. So I would probably, instead of doing that, I'd probably just go back to the Emerson Hancock well at 4K.
Okay.
They didn't touch his price. He pitched pretty well in that game.
I would say against San Diego, 5 innings, 2 earned. I mean, for a guy that you were reading off some of those numbers at AAA early on, and they were pretty dreadful.
Yep.
Good debut. Does he do it against KC the way they're swinging? Well, at 4K, might as well find out, right?
Right. Yeah. If you're playing multiple lineups, I think it's worth a dart.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, let's move on over to the infield position here. Talk about some of your favorite spend ups at the position today.
So Matt Olson, no surprise, gets lefty. We know, or gets a righty. Clark Schmidt, we know. We've said it literally 1,000 times this year. Clark Schmidt sucks. He sucks against lefties. That's where he struggles. So right off the bat, Olson at $6,500, Albies at $6,000 would probably be like the first 2 guys. We should look at
Geloff's up to 45, huh? Crazy.
I mean, dude, like,
I mean, I know
he is that dude right now. It is crazy to see. Bobby Witt, if you're not playing Hancock, like, he's been hitting righties and lefties the same. He mashes equally against whoever. Obviously the JP Sears play, is something. So like Nolan Arenado, 5,600. He's still hitting lefties extremely well this year. The Mets are a little interesting. I know they've been terrible, but like at least Alonso versus Priester is kind of interesting. I mean, Priester, dude, like he's still giving up so many runs. Like 4, 3, 5, 4, 7 earned runs. He is not allowed less than 3 earned runs in any singular start he's made yet. He's not missing bats, so I could definitely see myself getting.
The guy's got 35 home runs, right? Everybody's giving all the flowers to Olson, Ohtani, and rightfully so, because they're on another planet. But I mean, Pete Alonso's sitting there with 35 homers and 87 RBIs, just like right on their tail. So
yep.
And a lot of this production's been coming of late, to your point too. So definitely like that. We'll have to watch the weather, obviously, when it comes to that game there as well. But good call outs there for some top price guys.
Arizona as well, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you're in Coors. I mean, with that kind of is a given that we're going to be in on some of their plays here. Who's pitching against them there?
Chris Flexen.
Oh, Flexen, jeez. Yeah, I mean, the Arizona offense has been struggling a little bit as a guy who has Corbin Carroll on his roto league. He's hitting about like 190 for the month. Yeah, so could really, could really
Use a
use
breakout.
that
Yeah,
to
same.
catch. I've been left by a co-host of mine in that league, so
True.
need to work my way back into some contention. So
We're fighting for green. We're fighting for green right now,
yeah, we're
John.
fighting for
We're
the
fighting for
money
green.
bubble right now. So and the places
I
above
know.
us not too far off either.
No, true.
Would you go any San Diego against Grayson Rodriguez here?
Yeah. I mean, look, again, Grayson's been better lately, but we saw deficiencies early in the year. Lefties gave him a lot of issues. Right. And to be fair, like the righties are probably the more predominant pieces of this lineup outside of
Yeah.
Soto, but like Kim's been amazing. Bogarts had a huge night the other night, and Manny Machado still exists in the world. So like, yeah, I wouldn't be against playing any of those guys.
Looking at some value here, you mentioned obviously Volpe and his numbers against lefties. If you're not
Dude.
in on Fried here, he's $3,200. Recent numbers not great, but a couple of homers and a stolen base to his name. Maybe getting it done for you at short.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the lefty splits now because he has dude. It's been sad to see. So against lefties, and again, small sample, 506 slug, 846 OPS, 264 ISO, 360 WOBA. I mean, that's like for just the OPS context, it's 240 points higher than his OPS against right-handed pitching.
It's nice.
That's insane. Nice. Like that's one stating how bad he is against righties, and two stating that he is actually formidable, like very, very formidable.
Short has some good value. I mean, Tommy Edman gets a lefty here in Sears, which will lead off probably.
Dude, he's been amazing against. Dude, oh my god, amazing against.
Yeah, he's been really good against them. Little pop lately too. Three homers on a stolen base for Tommy Edman. The last 10 for him. And then Duran here against Sandoval for Texas, short and third eligibility for some value. You've been on Wilson Contreras lately. He's $3,600 at catcher against Sears. So, we'll probably find ourselves going to the Cards here a lot in these matchups.
Yeah, and he hits lefties. Like, dude, the middle of the Cards lineup is going to be extremely popular because they're still free, and we're going to get to their outfield still free. Like Contreras had, in that matchup with the lefty on the mound the other night, 3 for 3, a double, a home run, 5 ribbies, 36 fantasy points. Like that's what he's been against left-handed pitching lately. I'll give a catcher a shout. Mitch Garver, 3,500, has been scorching earth hot.
I don't know if you saw earlier today, the Diamondbacks designated for assignment Carson Kelly. $2,500 Gabriel Moreno sitting there against Chris Flexen in Colorado. Gotta think there'll be some rostership on that name, right?
Should be, right?
Almost a mid-price catcher in course, right?
They gotta play. Like he was good until Kelly came back, and then he was like a part-time catcher who couldn't hit anymore because he wasn't getting enough opportunity. So yeah, I think he's going to be really popular. He should be really popular. It's a really good play.
Any other infielders you want to discuss?
Jonah Heim off the IL here, John. Didn't see that one.
Could still be. The way Garver's been playing though, still pretty good for him there.
True. I mean, they play them both. They play them both every day.
Yeah,
so like
one DHs, one catches. Massey also give a shout at 3K. Worth just kind of throwing into some lineups potentially there. And if you think that Manai is the long man, Paredes at 4K, second and third base eligibility. We know the power that he possesses there in that lineup for him. So my couple more names to be on your radar. Again, we'll have a full playbook out for everybody here a little bit later on in the morning and afternoon, those who are watching this morning. On the Badner Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm channels. Outfield, top price guys. Ron Acuna is still 67. We've discussed Ohtani. You got Judge here. Corbin Carroll against Flexen in cores will probably be pretty popular. Adolis, Soto under 6K, $5,600. Where are you putting your money on?
Any of them. I mean, even Ohtani's live for a home run. It's not like Scherzer. I mean, Scherzer's given up 24 home runs this year. Right, so would it surprise you to see Ohtani, who hit his 41st on Sunday? I would play Ohtani as a one-off. I'd definitely play Acuna against Schmidt, even though Schmidt's been good against righties. I'd play Judge. He's been good against lefties. But you're ultimately right. Corbin Carroll is going to be the most popular play here. I would play Adolis at 58. He's been really good lately. I would play Soto against Grayson Rodriguez. I'd pretty much play just for everyone who's 5K. Honestly, other than maybe Randy Arozarena,
Yeah.
who's at least he's coming to life. But like, is it? I don't think I want to pay
Nah,
5,400 for him.
probably not. I don't think I'm really going to be in on much of Tampa outside of like, yeah, if we know for sure Manai, but then we don't know. So it's kind of tough to peg
Right.
down.
Right.
Under 5K, there's obviously some names here. Some guys that are sort of similar. Ozuna and Stanton are basically home run or bust with those two guys at 46 and 45. Again, Santander has the power against righties. We actually looked at this up the other day. This season, unlike past seasons, actually hitting righties a little bit better than lefties. Nolan Jones, we talk a lot about Merrick Kelly's a reverse splits guy, so maybe not spot for him here. Michael Harris at $4,400.
Yep.
Is an elite play. I've been touting him for you and I both talking him up a lot lately. Hard to beat at $4,400.
Yeah, he's an elite play. Again, Clark Schmidt's deficiencies lie against left-handed bats. So I would, just hit this guy higher in the lineup, please.
It's fun. Oh, the thing is, like, where?
It's
Where do they hit him lead off and shift everybody down? Do you hit him second and shift everybody down one? Do you just hit him above Darno and Murphy? Like whoever hit him ahead of Ozuna? But I think honestly is that they like him hitting ahead of Acuna.
Yeah.
In the next time around the lineup because he's like a legitimate hitter. So because Acuna, is a guy that has a lot of RBI, and it's mostly because Harris is on base. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. Tyler O'Neill's $3,700. Guy will be probably in on Leote is at 36.
I would like to just circle back to Brian Reynolds.
Sure, keep up.
4,300. Double donged on Sunday.
What are the Carrasco numbers against lefties? Earlier this year, they were pretty good. He's a switch hitter though, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, well, he's gonna bet. Well, you're right. He's gonna bat lefty.
Oh, right.
But I have them up because I wanted to look because I know that was the thing. They're getting bad versus both splits. 388 WOBA allowed against righties. 358 WOBA allowed against lefties. So he's been just kind of and you look at it, 287 BABIP, only gonna continue to get worse. 624 FIP, 552 XFIP to lefties. Like things are just trending in the wrong direction for Cookie Carrasco against
for sure
left-handed bats.
Anybody else value guys for you? Sawinski, I guess, at 33 then too. If you're in on
him,
a lot of power.
Yeah, I love the shouts you gave to Tyler O'Neill. He's like been my like literal plug and play every time there's a lefty on the mound. Honestly, almost every time that he's been on the slate lately. He's been monstrous against lefties this year, specifically. Melendez down there at 3,100. He continues to be awesome at the dish. Grossman will be in the lineup, we know, against a lefty. He's been good lately if you want to play him. And then you drop below.
Maybe Alec Thomas.
What is that? Yeah, I was going to say, what is Arizona going to do? They probably play Alec Thomas in the outfield.
Yeah, they're not going to play Pham against a righty, probably, right? So.
Yeah, probably not Pham. That looks like it's it. You and Fancy will cover probably.
Yeah, we'll have some official lineups for the 5:00 show, so we'll know kind of where we want to go with it. Build some lineups out then. But let's give a first look lineup here for everybody at home. I'm fine plugging Max. You want to do Max and Miles?
Yep.
Max and Miles. Catcher Gabe Moreno. $2,500. Do you want to go him or Contreras?
Wilson got the pop.
All right, Wilson first base.
If we can, is Olsen our top spend? Like, what's our top spend? Do you think?
I mean,
is he like
Probably
Spending up on Olsen it's never
Olsen
the
and
wrong
Harris, I
spend.
guess. We try to like plug.
Yeah.
What's our ultimate values then? Melendez maybe 31.
Volpe 32.
Volpe at 32. I kind of wanted to go Edmund there.
Yeah, that's true. Edmund's cheap, 39.
So we do Edmund.
O'Neill.
Massey maybe? 3K?
Yes, Massey's a good play.
And we can just kind of go Melendez with them too.
Yep.
Like it was just 37.50 for a third and an outfielder.
If you play O'Neill, and then we could probably play, could Brian Hayes homer to freaking again over the weekend on Saturday?
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Or on Friday,
yeah. There's nobody else really down here, so
it's him or Duran probably, right? At third, or you play Jace Peterson because he's in Coors.
I don't think Carrasco's anything, so I'm good with this as a initial build lineup here. We got 3 guys against Sears. We got a little 2-man Atlanta stack, 2-man Kansas City stack, 1 off of Pitt. Spend up for Max, value play on Miles here. First look at Monday's 8-game main slate. Again, we'll have a full playbook out, and myself and Justin Fensterman will be live at 5 o'clock Eastern time to break down the slate for everybody. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done. Turn those notifications on so you won't miss tonight's show. For now, James and I will be back tomorrow. We'll talk to you later.